first video was titled Why Me? So if you haven't checked that one out, I encourage you to go back, give it a listen, watch it a couple of times if you have to, leave comments. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. We want to get the word out as much as possible. And that first video is titled Why Me? Right? And the reason why I encourage you to go watch that one if you haven't already, and then move on to this one and to the next ones, is because the first video is going to set the tone for all of the other videos to come. Right? So that's why I want to encourage. I want it to be like a process, a developmental process, and it's just going to be a blessing to you. It's been a blessing to me. Like I said in the previous videos, I'm not really the one who likes to make videos, so this within itself is a process. So okay, go check out Why Me, and don't forget to subscribe. So today, we're going to be talking about the unpacking process, right? So in the Why Me video, we talked about how we were sent here and we were packaged, and so how it now our question is no longer why me. Now the question is, how do I unpack what has been packaged within me? So we know that there's a developmental process associated with that. And one of the things that I started with this video, I wrote a few things down, and here just a quick list of some things that we make a mistake about when we're trying to come into ourselves or be who God created us to be. And one of the things is comparing yourself to others for your validation. Comparing yourself to others for your validation. You may see other people who are extremely talented and they're gifted and they have these abilities and they can do all kinds of things, and then you look at that and then you try it and you may not be as good at it, or you may not be gifted with those gifts. That in times can be a hindrance for a person, because they'll start coming down on themselves and say, well, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I get the gifts that they have? Why don't I have those abilities? And so you start looking at yourself as if something is wrong with you, or if you were shortchanged by God for some reason, that he just had more favor on this person than he did on you because he gave them more gifts than he did to you. Okay, well, and that can lead us down a path of being unappreciative, down a path of insecurities and all kinds of things that will begin to beat ourselves up, and then we won't go forward in that. Maybe it's just one thing that you're really good at, and God just wants you to develop that, and that thing is going to turn into something else. But because he just wants to know and see if you are going to be faithful with what he has given you already. Some he's given 20, 30 things that they're able to do. Some he's only given 5, and some he's only given 1. So we can be that person who has the one thing that they're really good at and be ashamed of it, and we hide it because why? We are comparing ourselves to the success of another. And what they have done, we use that to grade ourselves. So we are ashamed of ourselves, and then we end up not utilizing that thing that God wanted us to cultivate. Another mistake that we tend to make is we move out of pace. So think about, you have someone traveling on a road, and you have someone else traveling on the same road, maybe a friend. They may be 5 miles up the road, and you know this. So you're traveling the speed limit, but let's say you want to catch up to them. So what are you going to do? Break the speed limit, drive all kinds of crazy and dodging people, dodging animals, and they dodging you because you're trying to catch up with where that other person is. And by you doing so, that's going to put you in a predicament that's going to put you in a situation where you could get a ticket, get pulled over, and be even more delayed in reaching your destination because you're trying to keep up and catch up with where someone else is. So, part of this unpackaging process, remember, let's not move out of pace, because in the Bible it talks about the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. That enduring process is not determined by the pace of someone else. The enduring process is determined by your pace. It's not, let's say your grandma or mom or aunt or uncle or whoever, they may be further along in life than what you are, obviously. So you're going to live a reckless life just trying to catch up with them. And no, we need to move in sync, in pace with what God has given us. Don't try to catch up with somebody else. Don't try to compete with someone else. If you want to compete with anyone, compete with you. You can do a little bit more than what you did the day before. Because what will happen, because I can speak to this myself, when I take on too many things at one time, but I can do several things, but I can't do them all great at one time. So I have to be able to move in sync with what I'm doing. And in pace, me and my supervisor, we were talking about this the other day about multitasking and how he said some things they don't really work together. They don't work as well as other things do grouped together. So you have to know your pace, right? And another mistake that we make, I wrote this down. It says being mesmerized by the glamorous end result without the desire and discipline to pay the price. Think about that. You're looking at the success of someone else. And you say, oh man, I really want that. I want that house. I want that car. So you start longing for what they have. And there's nothing wrong with being inspired. And there's nothing wrong with looking at someone else's the things that they have acquired in life and their success. There's nothing wrong with looking at that and admiring that and having an appreciation and saying, hey, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it too. That's a good mindset to have. But when that mindset turns into, well, if they got it, well, I want that. I want this. I want what they got. I want that house. I want that car. I want those shoes. I want, you know what I mean? You start lusting after what they have, and so you start doing whatever you think is possible, any means possible, to get what they have, but you don't know what they have gone through that has brought them to that place. So, and then when you start going through the struggle, you say, oh man, no, I don't want this. Well, you never really wanted it to start. You were just envious of it, and you were coveting. You know, that's a commandment, thou shalt not covet. So you were coveting what they had, so you just wanted that end result, but you didn't want the process. So a lot of times when we begin to unpackage what's in our lives, let's not look at acquiring the glamour that someone else has acquired in life, but move in sync with where God has placed you and know, hey, okay, there's a price to pay for all things. Whether y'all believe that or not, I'm a firm believer in that there's a price to pay for all things. I believe Beyonce said what goes around comes back around. She was talking about something that's been around for a very long time. You reap what you sow. All these different things. There's a price to pay. So, it's good to have that desire to have great things, but remember, you have to be willing to have a desire to pay the price. God bless you all. This is part 1, and we're gonna keep this series going. Y'all have a great day.